Hey, my holy watchers. Hey, what's up? Mama TC is back in the house. Hey. All right, so as you can hear, my voice sounds hoarse, right? But it's fine. It's fine. Listen, this has happened to me I don't know how many times in my life. Um, as I've been recovering, you guys know from the last video I did make, I was under the weather big time. I don't know if it was some type of flu or what, but when it hit me during the major shift that we had around the 28th, 29th, and then the full moon was the 29th, I went through something that my body was not, it did not do well. And but I pretty much was sure I was certain a lot of it was a shift, and I talked about it in the last video. So I am so sorry I haven't seen y'all. My hat got my hair up. I just got back in from outside because we got a snowstorm going on up here in Massachusetts, and it's not so bad, but it's going to turn to ice, sleet, and snow. So I just had to move the car. I'm gonna have to go back down in about 45 minutes and move it again. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't want to live in Massachusetts no more. I want to live where it's nice outside. I'm done. My whole life I've been up here in the cold. And summers are great up here. But listen, winters, they're not brutal. Like, I really don't have no business complaining, except for the fact that I'm an island girl. You know, my mother was Caribbean, West Indian. She was from an island called Saba in the West Indies. And this little island, Saba, and I got family in St. Croix, St. Kitts, St. Thomas. Listen, we Caribbean. And then on my daddy's side, this Gullah Geechee, Florida Seminole. So, either way, I'm supposed to be in hot climate. I'm supposed to be where it's warm. And I wouldn't be so pale neither, because I used to work as a lifeguard, even until when I gave birth, I had my son. When he was a baby, I went back and was lifeguarding like 2 more summers. So I used to lifeguard, and listen, I loved it. Being out in the sun 10 to 6:30, I didn't burn. I just got darker and darker. I get dark. I don't burn. And so, but, in the regular walking around in the summer, I'm usually, if it's hot outside, I'm like light brown. I'm a deep yellow, darker yellow. I ain't walking around there pale as a ghost. So in the winter, when I get pale, people be like, "You so pale? Whoa, you're pale." They didn't realize it. I'm like, I know I get pale in the winter. Always got to explain in the winter. Anyway, let me get off of that. So, we're beginning it today. Long overdue. Because when I was sick, while I've been not feeling well, I don't like claiming illness and sickness, I have been reviewing and reading it, and so I can get it just right where I want to discuss it. And I can, listen, I'm going to tell y'all straight up like this. This book is so beautiful. The writings in it are so beautiful. Everything about this book is beautiful. And I have to explain to you this book. Okay, so as you see on the front, there's 4 sections of it. The Forerunner, the Guardians, and this one is the Book of Life. And then you get into a message from Mother Mary. Now, that's where I've had some issues with it, and starting took me some time. Why? Because the whole reason I grew up in the RC church, I'm talking about, priests and all that. And I grew up in that church, and I got away from it when I started waking up in 2010. I finally left in 2012, and I did get rebaptized. I don't like calling it that, because the Catholics, when they baptize you, sprinkle. When I got baptized in a Pentecostal church, which I didn't join, I just went to see a bass player play. I talk about it in a previous episode. What happened was they offered free baptism for anybody, and I said, yeah, I want it. So they said, "Oh, come on up," and I did, like I explained to you in a previous episode. So I was baptized in that church, but I didn't join it. I'm non-denominational, and part of that is because when I started this Bible study in the Catholic Church, because let me tell you something, I had a whole revelation. I left that church. The childhood church, I grew up in a beautiful church and everything, because of all the scandal that happened a long time ago. You know what I'm talking about. This is Massachusetts. So part of that scandal affected a lot of churches in Boston. And it was like close to home. So we were like, and we grew always there. So it was like, it didn't affect my personal church, which is Black Catholic Apostolate. We have several white members for many, many years, and black members and Jamaican members and all that. It was very diverse. And we had Spanish Mass and all that stuff. So when all the scandal happened, bottom line is this. My church closed down. It didn't close down right away. There was a lot of talk because the members had left. A lot of members left. There was maybe 1/3 of members in the English mass. But the Spanish mass filled all the aisles. The problem was when they did the books showed revenue coming in from the English mass and not much from the Spanish mass. Even though it was hundreds of people in there all the time, there wasn't no money coming in. So they was always beefing back and forth. I didn't like that either. We're all supposed to be one considered family. So put the books based on all of it together as one. You might debate that. I ain't getting into that. I don't care anymore because I'm not part of any religious order. Okay. So I had Bible study when I was back, when I went back to that church because God told me, go back there. I need you there. And I was like, please, you can't be asking me to go back there, Father. He said, go back there now. I sat outside that church in the car for a half an hour. And I waited for God to talk to me. And he said, go inside now. I went inside. I sat down, staring at all the beautiful stained glass windows I remember from childhood. And I'm thinking, I don't know why you got me here, Father. I don't know what you want me to do, but I'll fulfill your purposes. The lady came over. She said, Teresa, can I help you? I know who you are. I said, God told me to come in here and be of help to whoever needs me. She said, well, I know you could sing and stuff. What else can you do? I said, I can do this, and that. She said, come on. I need you. Yeah, I do need you. We got something to do. She put me in charge of CCD. She put me in charge of choiring. She put me in charge of lecturing, Eucharistic ministry. She had me doing so many things. I was hardly at home. Within a month, I was so operational. My kids were complaining I wasn't home and no more. So then they put me in a Bible study. That's when the problem came in. In the Bible study, this man, all of a sudden, he's deemed the head of the whole thing. I don't know why, but he started arguing that we got to pray to Mary. And I'm like, pray to Mary? Hold up. The Bible don't say nothing about that we supposed to worship Mary. We don't worship Mary. We pray and intercede to her. And then you do all that. I said, listen, I'm not comfortable with all this rosary beads and all this stuff. That's there's a lot of divination things going on there that define fine line close to this and this and that. So we would get into it about that. And ultimately, I left. I was not with it. I'm not arguing with this fella no more. And then, a lot of it tied into other things like, being part of this club and that club. And then they had vacations where they went down to Mardi Gras. I had no idea Mardi Gras was a Catholic thing. It is. But during the time that I was there, that's when all that Jerry Springer bead stuff was. So they're asking me to go to Mardi Gras where these girls are doing this. Oh, no, I'm not. No. We're not here for that. So I got into it with them too. I ultimately said it's best for me to just go. And I got into my own studies. I got licensed as a minister and I started doing my own evangelizing, working with other teams. And then we developed our TV show. Long story short, right? Well, this book here, this last section on a message from Mary, that's the last thing to read, thank goodness, because I'm not feeling it. I'm not. But as I start reading the Forerunner, it does bring up the point about women recognizing that she's the intercessor. That's when I had to go back and understand what the whole book in its entirety is about. It's about someone having received a message from the Most High. And that's what this whole Third Testament is. So see, I know that you all need to know this because many of you are hearing me say, follow the book. And even me, I don't know much about the book. So now I got it. And I want to know before I even start it, where all this came from. There's no Third Testament in Scripture, so where does it come from? Then I'm sure you want to know too. So it says here, it came from someone getting the message, but this part I didn't like. And this is because whoever asked this question, there's questions and answers in the beginning of it. Okay, so someone says this, and it sounds to me kind of racial, but I ain't like it. Because why would you ask it like that? Why was the Third Testament delivered in Mexico? Why in Spanish? Would not it be more appropriate that God delivered his revelations in a more developed country? Why would you say something like that? Why? God could choose whoever he delivers his messages to. I mean, I just didn't. I read the explanation and stuff, and we're getting ready to go over into the next video, part 2 of Introduction to the Third Testament Spirit of Truth by T.R. Ross. So stick around and come back because I'm going to answer that question, and then I'm going to tell you some more stuff that this tells you about being chosen. This is all a guide about being chosen. So it's a divine, wonderful book. I just don't dig that Mary stuff. But outside of that, the message for us being chosen is spot on. It's perfect, and it's meant for this era. So you do want to stick to this and come on back and find out more. I love you, and I'm glad to be back. I love you. Stay tuned, Holy Watchers. I love you.